A lion falls into an ancient well and, in a desperate act, pleads with a man for help. What the pride did next stunned everyone. Witness this extraordinary moment of trust between human and beast. As the first brushstrokes of dawn painted the Serengeti sky in hues of molten gold and soft apricot, a pride of 5 lionesses moved with regal grace across the emerald tapestry of the savannah. Their powerful forms, honed by generations of survival, rippled with each silent stride. Among them was Niyila, a young lioness, her youthful curiosity still untamed. A flicker of movement, a scent carried on the gentle breeze. Something drew her away from the familiar path of her sisters. Unbeknownst to her, concealed by the tall grasses, lay an ancient water well, a relic of a time when elephants sought solace in its depths, now forgotten and treacherous. One moment, her paws trod firmly on the sun-baked earth. The next, the edge crumbled beneath her weight. A startled yelp was abruptly cut short as she plummeted into the darkness below. Panic seized the remaining lionesses. They gathered at the well's mouth, their powerful bodies circling in a vortex of helpless anxiety. Deep, guttural growls rumbled in their chests, escalating into desperate roars that tore through the still morning air. The sound, usually a declaration of dominance, now echoed with a profound vulnerability. Yet, the sheer drop, the unknown depths, held them captive. No instinct, no maternal courage could bridge the chasm that separated them from their kin. An unnerving silence began to descend, heavier than the morning mist, punctuated only by their distressed cries. Miles away, nestled within a modest outpost that served as a watchful eye over this untamed kingdom, Ranger Kendi, a man whose voice carried the quiet authority of one who understood the land's ancient rhythms, paused in his morning routine. A faint, unusual resonance carried on the air, not the typical territorial pronouncements, but something laced with distress. He listened intently, his brow furrowed with concern. Something was amiss. Without hesitation, Kendi gathered his essential gear, his movements economical and purposeful. He ventured out alone, the vastness of the Serengeti stretching before him, uncertain of the scene that awaited him, yet driven by an unwavering commitment to the creatures under his protection. As he crested a small rise, the tableau unfolded, stopping him in his tracks. A single lioness was trapped within the confines of an old well, while 4 others stood vigil around its opening. Their posture was not one of aggression, but of profound concern. An unspoken drama was playing out, a silent testament to the deep bonds of family. From the shadowed depths of the well, Niyila, disoriented but alive, strained to see the figures looming above. Dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight that pierced the darkness. Then, with a gesture that transcended the primal instincts of a predator, she lifted her forepaws. Not in a defensive posture, not to threaten, but in an unmistakable plea. Her gaze locked with Kendi's. In that shared moment, across the divide of species, a profound understanding passed. The usual symphony of the savannah, the chirping of insects, the distant call of a bird, seemed to fade into an absolute stillness. It was as if the very wild held its breath, witnessing this extraordinary encounter. The pride above did not charge. They remained, their powerful bodies radiating a trust that defied the inherent caution of their wild nature. Somehow, they sensed his intent, knew that he meant no harm. The weight of their unspoken faith settled heavily on Kendi. Knowing that every passing moment chipped away at Niyila's strength, the threat of dehydration looming large under the relentless African sun, Kendi reached for his radio, his voice urgent as he called for assistance. Time, he knew, was a luxury they could ill afford. Without waiting for backup, driven by an instinct to act, Kendi edged closer to the precarious opening of the well. The air hung heavy with the scent of dust and damp earth. He peered down, gauging the distance, the precarious angle. Carefully, deliberately, he extended his arms, his calloused hands reaching for the trapped lioness. Niyila, whether through instinct or a desperate understanding, lifted her forelegs further, offering him a fragile connection. The rough pads of her paws met his grasp. Muscle strained against muscle as Kendi began to pull, his body a counterweight against the unseen depths. Sweat beaded on his brow, mingling with the dust that clung to his skin, the physical exertion a stark contrast to the silent drama unfolding. Above, the four lionesses remained, their eyes fixed on the unfolding scene. They paced restlessly, a low rumble of anxiety vibrating in their chests. Yet their inherent predatory instincts were held in check by an invisible force, a primal understanding, a desperate hope. They watched, they waited, but they did not attack. With a final, Herculean effort, fueled by adrenaline and a profound sense of responsibility, Kendi heaved. Slowly, agonizingly, Naila's head emerged from the darkness, followed by her powerful shoulders and finally, her trembling forelegs. She clawed at the earth, gaining purchase, and with Kendi's continued pull, she was free. She lay for a moment, panting, disoriented, a creature reborn from the depths. Then, as if drawn by an invisible cord, the four waiting lionesses moved forward. There was no triumphant roar, no boisterous greeting. Instead, they approached with a tender reverence, each in turn nudging and nuzzling Naila, their powerful heads rubbing against her weary body in a silent expression of relief and affection. Kendi, his breath coming in ragged gasps, slowly backed away. His heart pounded, not with fear, but with an overwhelming sense of awe. In that fleeting moment, predator and protector shared a common ground, united by the fragile thread of life and the profound power of compassion. The reunion complete, the immediate danger past, the pride began to regroup. With a silent understanding that transcended words, they turned as one. First, one of the adult lionesses, then another, melted back into the tall grasses, their tawny coats blending seamlessly with the savanna. There were no triumphant roars, no lingering displays of dominance. Only a quiet, almost imperceptible shift in the landscape as they disappeared. Naila, recovered but perhaps forever marked by her ordeal, paused for a fleeting moment. Her gaze flickered towards Kendi, a deep, amber look that seemed to convey a profound message, a silent acknowledgement, a hint of connection forged in the crucible of crisis. It was as if she were saying, without uttering a sound, "You are now a part of our story." Then, with a final, graceful turn, she followed her sisters into the embrace of the wild. In the weeks that followed, the abandoned well became a focal point. Kendi, with the help of his team, ensured it was properly sealed, a cairn of stones marking the spot as a silent warning against future missteps. But for Kendi, the place held a deeper significance. He would often return to the edge of the marked area, not out of a need for intervention, but simply to remember, to recall the palpable fear, the unexpected trust, the fragile bond forged in that extraordinary moment. And sometimes, just beyond the line of acacia trees, he would catch a glimpse, 5 tawny shapes observing from a distance. Silent sentinels, proud and unafraid. A living testament to the day, a shared vulnerability bridged the gap between two worlds. The savanna carried on, its rhythms unbroken. Yet for Kendi, and perhaps for the pride, a silent understanding lingered in the air. This remarkable event serves as a potent reminder of the intricate web of life that binds our planet. It speaks to the inherent value of every creature, great and small, and the unexpected connections that can blossom even in the face of adversity. The trust displayed by the lionesses, the unwavering dedication of the ranger. These are threads in the rich tapestry of the natural world that deserve our deepest respect and admiration. If this story of survival and unexpected connection has moved you, if you believe in the importance of protecting these magnificent creatures and their fragile habitats, then please lend your support. Like this story, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more glimpses into the wonders and challenges of our shared planet. Your engagement helps us continue to bring these vital stories to light, ensuring that the silent calls of the wild are never truly unheard.